I am here in Medjugorje, just in front of St. James Church. In the back you see the statue of Our Lady, and I'm with this beautiful priest. For me it's the cooking priest. Can you tell a bit about your ministry, Father?
Sure, Tom, thank you. My name's Father Leo, and I am a member of a community of consecrated life called Voluntas Dei, and I believe God has called me to the mission of trying to connect faith with food, because Jesus is our food. Also connecting families around the dinner table, because it is so necessary for a healthy family. And then I also want to make sure people can have some fun and celebrate their faith with good food and with faithfulness.
Isn't our faith about joy, no? The first miracle was water into wine.
Yeah, a lot of wine.
A lot of wine.
Boring.
Exactly. And Father, how often have you been in Medjugorje?
So I've been in Medjugorje just for a few days here on this trip, but I return pretty regularly to go to pilgrimages and lead different groups as well. And my first experience was in 1989, where I experienced part of my vocation and call to the priesthood.
Here in Medjugorje?
Here in Medjugorje.
What happened?
What happened was I saw the Universal Church. I experienced the Blessed Mother in a very kind of more personal, profound way. I experienced grace through the sacrament, and I saw the joy of all the people here, even though there was tensions, because of the upcoming war in 1991. I experienced there was a real sense of hope and protection. This place was much simpler back in the day, but as a young man, I was just so moved and impressed that I knew that God had a bigger plan for me than what I thought originally, which I thought was going to be political science or journalism.
Unbelievable. And can you describe the process, how you were touched, for people who don't know about Medjugorje, who are even not Catholic? What happens here?
What happens here is really what happens every day in church. You pray, you go to Mass, you receive the Eucharist, you have the sacraments, but what you see is a community of people. You can even see them starting to gather now. And I think we find strength in numbers, and we find good example in other people, because you feel sometimes that there is no one else like you. I mean, you find that the church isn't cool, the church doesn't have young people, and here in Medjugorje you see that is not true at all. It just is also a unique place of grace because of the visionaries' experiences and the messages of our Blessed Mother, whether they are approved or not, as long as they're not contrary to the gospel, you feel like she's talking directly to you in your moment, in what you're experiencing in life.
And why would you tell people, why should they come here at least once?
I think people should come here for a few reasons. One, because it is kind of fun to come to a different part of the world where it's very rustic and you see the faith in a more simple way. Two, you see the strength in numbers again, where you see so many people going to confession and you realize that there is great grace that comes from it. Three, I believe that it is fun, and the food is amazing. So you're not only experiencing, food for the soul, but definitely food for your mind, because it makes you think, and obviously really good food for the body, including this little dog right here.
Exactly. Look, who got his food? Who got his food? Look at that.
God provides for everybody.
Exactly.
I
Father, I want to say thank you for your show. It's, really, I watch it on Facebook. It's contagious, and we have to find new ways to evangelize. You do that in a young way. You say that our faith it's a young faith, no?
Yeah, it's a faith for everybody, young and old, but we're all God's children. And that's why the Blessed Mother always says, my dearest children, because we are all God's children. And thank God we have a mother.
Amen.
And not just recognize who God the Father is. So, Dankeschön to you.
Yeah. And how would you, Father, describe a bit our Catholic faith? Why are you so passionate? Why are you so passionate?
Well, because it's the only way to get to heaven.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be passionate about it. I mean, there are going to be good days and bad days when it comes to faith, but I think what we've got to do is recognize how faith is part of just our journey. It's just part of our journey. You get rid of it, it's very easy to be discouraged. And in this understanding of the Eucharist, where we know it's the heart of Christ, we are encouraged by faith, by church, by pilgrimage, by places like Medjugorje.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this beautiful interview, brother.
Bitteschön.